If you're watching this, you're definitely a comic book fan, so thank you for pressing play. Today, we're going to cover a Marvel comic hero, I guess, because he had his own series. His name is Skull the Slayer. It was a short-run series. There was 8 issues in total, so this is number 3. This is the only one I have. The art is actually pretty amazing on the cover, and actually, once you start flipping through the pages, it's actually just as good on the inside as it is on the outside. But for all of you who don't know who Skull the Slayer is, this is our chance to do a little history lesson. So, basically, this guy, which is Skull, he was Scully. And he was an adventurer and war veteran whose plane went down over the Bermuda Triangle. He entered a world with dinosaurs, aliens, primitives, and different timelines. He came across a scorpion belt, which he wears, and it gives him enhanced strength and stamina. And those who lived through the crash became good friends with Scully and wandered their newfound home. So, James Scully, our hero in this whole comic book line, he was actually created by Marv Wolfman and Steve Gann. And they started out, Marv Wolfman, he started out at DC, but later he moved on to Marvel, and that's where he spent a big portion of his career. And then when it came, he was working on issues of Amazing Spider-Man, Tomb of Dracula, for example. And then during the 80s is when he had a fight with Jim Shooter, and he went back to DC Comics. And there he started working on like the Teen Titans, Cyborg, Starfire, Beast Boy. I don't know. He was jumping back and forth between the two companies for a big portion of his life. But he has ended his career working with DC. And I believe the man called A-X, I believe. But he won a few awards for Best Writer under Humor. He was nominated for Favorite Writer Awards. So when it comes down to the story, it definitely had the good backing of a good company behind him. So, on to the comic. This comic actually came out in August of '75, and it only lasted for 8 issues. And like I said, he was a trained soldier turned superhero. He found this belt in the Bermuda Triangle world, got to strength and durability, and he wandered this earth of dinosaurs and primitives and aliens, and it all coexists, of course, and with 3 of his companions that survived the crash with him. So he served in Dr. Druid's team of occult investigators called the Shock Troop, alongside Sepulchre and Nikantu, the living mummy. He was attempting to find a way to remove the power belt, which he had recently been damaged and had altered his appearance. His skin had become transparent, showing only a green glowing skeleton. During this time, he adopted the alias of the obscure Golden Age hero, the Blazing Skull. He crossed paths with heroes such as Quasar and Captain America while a member of their team. Eventually, Dr. Druid was able to restore him to his normal appearance, and he left the team. Sometime later, he attempted to remove the belt once again, causing him to lose the youthful metabolism that the belt actually provided. So he gained weight and lost much of the physical shape, and the belt had kept him at over the years. So once he tried to get rid of it again, it definitely did not work out well for him. So he served as a bodyguard, and then he started doing, and then he had an adventure with Hawkeye. So there you go. That's a little backstory on that. This particular issue, which is Skull the Destroyer number 3, it's trapped in the Tower of Time. And the actual premise of the whole issue is Skull's feud with Corey worsens as the group wanders the prehistoric landscape, because they've just crashed. It's number 3, so they're still trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. But then things become even more confusing when they find the corpses of dozens of other castaways in the triangle staked out near a mysterious tower of alien origin. And upon entering it, they find every level appears to exist in a different time period. Skull finds himself battling robot dinosaurs, while Corey is trapped by slave masters in what appears to be ancient Egypt. At this particular time, the editor-in-chief and editors was not only Marv Wolfman, but Gary Conway, and then the cover was done by Ron Wilson and Frank Glacola. And obviously the writer is Marv Wolfman, penciler Steve Gann, inkers Pablo Marcus, Steve Gann. Colors was also done by Michael Wolfman, and then there you go. Not much for trivia, and that's Skull the Slayer. Quick 8 issues, easy to find. You will find these anywhere in your cheap discount bins, all the way up to beautiful, fine, mint, pristine copies. I'm sure no one out there has a CGC copy of it, because they're not definitely the most valuable comic on the earth right now. Mostly because no one even knows who Skull the Slayer is. I don't even know if they've even tried to revamp this character at all. But it's actually kind of an interesting read, because they did really try to put some really good talent toward this comic. So, if you do want to try and check it out, I'm sure eBay or even your local comic book shop, I would check them first, because you got to support local, because without a local comic book shop, where else are you going to get your comics? So, and something like this, I would think would range from anywhere from 50 cents to $10. So, if you were out to hunt down this whole series to actually, because it's only 8 issues and it's really easy to gather, you would be looking at anywhere from $4 to $80, and you would have the complete series, and you would be able to read Skull the Slayer from beginning to end. Not much else to say about this guy. Hope you enjoyed. If anyone else knows anything else about this guy, please comment or subscribe. I'm going to be digging through tons of boxes, and as I pull up like a random issue like this, we're going to give you an update and give you a little history lesson about some of these oddball characters that may never see the light of print again. Either way, thanks for tuning in. Bye.